morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you are having a fantastic day. If you're new to the channel, my name is Parker Nierenstein, and this is Vehicle Virgins. We've got some awesome stuff coming your way regarding the E63 and revealing the giveaway cars wrap today. But first, let's pull this out. Since I've got to go fix the E63, I thought this would be an awesome opportunity to talk about brakes. Chances are, no matter what car you're driving, whether it's a minivan or a supercar, it has rotors and it has brake pads. Is it crazy that my front brake pads wore out in 4,000 miles? Well, yes and no. Obviously, with normal driving, that would never happen, but I want to talk about why the front brake pads wore first. If you take a look at a sports car from the side, you'll often notice that the front rotors as well as calipers are bigger in the front than they are in the rear. When you stop aggressively, like I did at Thermal on the racetrack, the weight transfers to the front of the car. That loads up the front tires, providing them with more grip, but it also wears out your front brake pads faster because it has to deal with stopping more weight quickly. There's more heat and thus more wear. Not to mention, with the more powerful calipers, it's clamping down on the rotor even harder and thus wearing out the brake pads. If you drive normally and you're not hard on the brakes at the last minute on a racetrack or going up to a stoplight, then chances are your front brakes and your rear brakes will actually wear somewhat close to one another. In modern cars, they've done a pretty good job of equalizing the fronts and rear. But before we get started, I wanted to give a special shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Clash Royale. As you guys can probably imagine, I spent a lot of my time sitting at my computer, uploading files, rendering the final edition after it's edited, and then sitting again, waiting for it to upload to YouTube. Well, I've been occupying my time recently with an extremely addicting game. It is a freemium mobile tower rush game where you can actually play live players in real time. It's sort of a combination of a tower defense game and a collectible card game, and the battles get really freaking intense. It's also super easy to play with friends too. I've gotten a lot of my friends addicted. You can play 2-on-2, which is awesome with your buddy or just somebody else random online. There's also a ton of different arenas you can unlock as well. There's even a new mode called Clan Wars, which is this crazy 2-day battle that you can play with your clan, whether that be all of your friends from school or a bunch of people that you have met that are talented at the game. My favorite card is the Giant, since you just drop it on the map. It doesn't take all that much skill and it smashes things. It is awesome. But seriously, check out the game. I've got a special link in the description below, especially the new Clan Wars feature. It is awesome. Special thanks to Clash Royale. Let's get on to the video. So what are some indicators of your brake pads wearing out? And how do you know if you're just supposed to replace the front pads or all four pads or the rotors as well? Well, on many modern cars, we've actually got a light that pops up on the dash to let you know that your brakes are almost done. That being said, even on this car, I need to replace my brakes as the front pads are low and no light has come on yet. So there's other ways to tell. Now, just because your brakes are squeaking does not mean you need to replace the pads. It could be glazed over from a track day. It could be cold out, and then once the brakes warm up, the squeaking goes away. But if your brakes are squeaking, it's a good idea to check them because, well, if your brakes don't work, that's a pretty dangerous problem. Once we actually take the brake pads out, I'll explain how it makes the squeaking noise. This is actually something done by the manufacturers for your own safety. Headed over to Avant-Garde Exotics right now, and they are going to inspect my car to figure out exactly what parts I need. I'm pretty sure, and so are they, that it's just the front pads, but we might as well check, because if all we do is order the front pads and install those, and it turns out I need rear pads and rotors, well, it's just a waste of time and it's not safe. But the cool thing is, we're actually going to talk about how to source OEM brake pads for less money. Never a dull moment at Avant-Garde. Mark is literally inside of a Gallardo right now, pulling out the wiring harness. Oh my god.
Oh, you still got zip tie. You got me.
Any idea how much that costs?
10K?
$10,000 for just the harness. That doesn't even include the silver ECU box that's connected to it. That is just unbelievable. Right now it just looks like a bunch of snakes tangled. So we're gonna take a look at the brake pads now, and in trying to find the key so we can take the wheel off, look what I found in the trunk of this thing. If you lift up this area here, this, according to Mark, he taught me, actually clips on here, which is pretty cool. And then look at this. This is the most ridiculous thing to come in a six-figure car. Sir, can you set up the box for me, please? Tell me that doesn't look worse than like a produce box at a grocery store, or you're carrying stuff at Target. Why would I ever use that? Look at that, it even is branded by Mercedes. That has to be the ugliest thing Mercedes has ever designed. All right, so they actually figured out the purpose of this. If you're in California, you'll know that paper and plastic bags cost like 10 cents. So for the discerning E63 buyer who's trying to save 10 cents at a time, you can actually bring this to Whole Foods, save a couple bucks. One thing that really did disappoint me when I took European delivery of the E63 is that because of German law, they had to have a front license plate. If I got a car delivered in California, I wouldn't get the front plate and I would just never put it on because it really ruins the front bumper. But they actually drilled it in to the front bumper before I took delivery, which means removing it, well, I've never tried because I think there's gonna be 2 big holes. But is that the screws themselves are actually really thin, so potentially if we unscrew it, it might actually not look that bad. Another issue we found, these fake center lock wheels are nearly impossible to actually take the caps off so that you can get to the lug nuts. All right, new free invention for somebody. This toolkit, this Snap-on Lamborghini official toolkit, without the tools in it, just the box itself is like what, $100,000? 60 grand? Either or, $60,000 to $100,000, that is ridiculous. And there are so many tools in this that we can't find which tool we need because it's one that they don't use very often. I'm thinking, for this much money, if you had a screen somewhere on the toolkit, like right here, and you could actually type in what tool and it could tell you the location that you put it, that would be pretty awesome. Or even crazier than that, it dispenses it like a vending machine. All right, we are going to take the front license plate off and see what the front of this car looks like without it. Or you don't have to do that.
There may be one on the bottom.
Oh, you think?
Not air. If the Germans think
this
this
is
is good, 3
that's
is
so
what they
true.
use.
Look at the wrist.
All right, well, it's a little dusty, but obviously cleanable. Kind of marred. I can't believe they actually drilled into that. I wasn't, literally every time we say the funniest I know you guys aren't gonna believe me because none of it's on film, but.
Yeah, you should have heard the Swarovski crystal comment we had earlier when the camera was off.
Could you, just 2 big bling right there?
Yeah,
boom,
blinging.
diamonds. That looks way better. The other option, instead of the Swarovski crystals, if this actually makes some sort of noise, you're thinking it might whistle, is we could put whistle tips or maybe even kazoos. Taking off the wheel, opening up the calipers to get to those brake pads so we can get the serial number off of it.
Yeah, but you're gonna need it in bulk. Or try to get
Oh my god, that is so low. So the OEM brake pads are 11 millimeters thick, and crazy enough, the actual warning light on the dash doesn't come into play until 2 or 3 millimeters of thickness left, which is drastically low, and you need to take your car into the shop right away. Let's see how thick my brake pads are after that track day. So here is one of my front pads after 4,000 miles, and it is 4.58 millimeters thick. The reason I'm just taking these pads off right now and I don't actually have the replacement ones with me is that we are gonna find out what brand and what exact serial number these pads are so that I can buy the exact same thing, genuine Mercedes part that they'd put in a new E63 from the manufacturer themselves instead of Mercedes. Because you know, if you take your car to a dealership, they're gonna upcharge you on parts, but you can get an OEM part by just looking at what this is. So we found out it's a Textar brake pad, which I haven't actually heard of. We thought they might be Brembos because the calipers are. Looked it up online, Textar TX4583, and they're like $60 less for just the fronts. So in an ideal world, the plan was to take the brake pads off, get the serial number, find the company that makes the pad, and then get the exact same matching pad. Because in certain situations, maybe a last generation E550 used the same pads as the new E63, and then of course you could get those and they'd be significantly cheaper. Although, unfortunately, they changed the pad, so the 2018 E63S only has this brand new pad type, and it's so new that Textar doesn't even sell it on their website yet. You can only get it through Mercedes. So it was a way to save money. Unfortunately, on a car this new, it's not possible. We gotta get it through Mercedes, but definitely a tip for those of you out there to look at your pads and see if you can cross-reference any and get a pad from someone else. The wheels on that Aston are sick. On the way back from Avant-Garde Exotics, waiting for the Z4 giveaway car to be dropped off. You guys are gonna be blown away by the color that the new owner, Laura, picked for the car. Well, guys, I am so excited about this. The car just got dropped off, and it looks unbelievable. When the winner of the car told me that she wanted this color, I'll admit I was a little bit nervous that it wouldn't turn out that well, but this has exceeded my expectations more than I ever would have imagined. Well, guys, what do you think of the new wrap? This green wrap is actually brighter than my Lamborghini Huracan is. Check it out. Even though this is in the shade right here, the Huracan never glows as bright green as this freaking Z4 does in the sunlight. I'm literally so excited for the owner right now. Laura, I know I've already texted you pictures of this, but hopefully in video, you are blown away by your new car. Obviously going to be shipping it ASAP, and finally, you can drive this beautiful manual Z4. I've got to give a huge shout out to Eric at Window Tints for making this car look absolutely epic. We of course have the gloss green wrap, but there's some other details that they did that really made this Z4 look brand new. The wheels, for instance, were silver before, and now they are satin black. We have satin black on the mirrors. All of the chrome trim has been replaced with satin as well, and we have tinted windows that simultaneously give you privacy and also limit harmful sunlight. The quality of this wrap is seriously sick. If you guys are interested in wrapping your car, definitely check them out. Window Tints, I've got a link in the description below for that. They actually even put together a video for me of the install process. Let's see what it's like to wrap a Z4. If you guys aren't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure to smash that subscribe button. If you enjoyed the video, give this video a big like. We've got some awesome content coming up. All right, I decided I had to pull the Lamborghini out. Let's check out what these two look like next to each other. Thank you guys so much for staying to the end of the video, leaving you with this little treat. The two beautiful green cars next to each other. Look, this is legitimately brighter than the Lamborghini. They look awesome together, actually. All right, for real this time. See you next video.